What is up, guys, and welcome back to another brand new episode of E-Creeks Outdoors, guys. Today I have an awesome video for you. It's going to be 5 of the coolest places, the coolest spots in all of America. Now, I haven't been everywhere in America, but I've been through a lot of it, and these are 5 of the coolest places I have ever been to. Let's get right into it, guys. Now, the first spot is going to be maybe the greatest view in all of the state of Utah, and that is going to be Angel's Landing. This is a hike in Zion National Park, which is in southwest Utah, near the town of Springdale. Now, if you guys know Zion National Park, you know it is one of the famous national parks in all of the U.S. It is so beautiful. Now, I just went there this past summer. It was one of the coolest places I have ever been. We went in July, and it was very hot out, but it is worth it, guys. Get there maybe in the spring, even in the summer when it's hot out. It's going to be beautiful views everywhere. And to do this hike, Angel's Landing, it's maybe the hardest hike in all of the park, but it's going to be completely worth it. The hike to Angel's Landing is about a 5-mile hike with about 1,500 feet of elevation change, and it's going to be about 4 hours round trip. There are 2 viewpoints on this hike. The first one, you go about, I don't know, probably 3/4 of the way up, but maybe it takes about half the time. And that's where most people stop. You get up there, it's a beautiful view. It's a really hard hike to get up there. Easy trails, but it's really strenuous because it's kind of straight uphill. Once you get up there, you get great views, and then you have the final push to Angel's Landing. Now, this is going to be a sketchy one. People have died on the hike to Angel's Landing. There's chains that you can hold on to. I would recommend going first thing in the morning when the trails are going to be nice and open, because there are going to be a ton of people wanting to get up there, and it's going to be really slow going. Once you get up there, guys, I am telling you, it's one of the most beautiful views I've ever seen. When you're going through the buses in Zion National Park, the bus drivers will point up and say, hey, can you see those tiny specks way up there? Those are actually people hiking on Angel's Landing. That's going to be you all the way up there. You'll feel like a bird up there. You can see everything. Well worth it, guys. Get to Angel's Landing hike in Zion National Park. A side note, in Zion National Park, there's a really cool hike called the Narrows. You've probably seen this on TikTok or something. It's where you're actually hiking in a river. This one you're also going to want to do early in the morning because there's going to be a lot of people, and it's just super cool. Bring some trekking sticks. You're going to hike through a river, and there's also a way you can do it where if you start and do it from the top down, most people do it from the bottom up. You can do it that way, and you can camp out halfway overnight right next to the river. It's supposed to be a great time. I haven't done that one yet, but I want to. I did the Narrows, but I want to camp out still. Let's get to the next one. Number 2 of my 5 of the coolest places in America is the Badlands National Park in South Dakota. Seeing the Badlands was such a memorable experience for me. I remember looking out and it almost didn't look real. It's like you're back in an old Western movie, and it really feels like maybe a cowboy will just ride up over the ridge or something. When you look out there, it almost looks like terrain that can't even be navigated. And actually, we were told when we were in the Badlands that a lot of bad outlaws used to hide out there back in the day because there's so many hiding places. I can't help but think a massive game of hide and seek out there would be so insane. The name actually comes from what the Lakota people used to call it, and it meant like land bad. Was the literal translation of it. That's why it's called the Badlands, not because outlaws hid out there. I guess outlaws, it's said that they actually did hide out in the Badlands. Now, the Badlands seem like they're in the middle of nowhere in South Dakota, and one who's really into kind of that Western theme out there, it's really cool to just be out there in the middle of nowhere seeing this beautiful stuff. And something you can also see while you're out there is Wall Drugstore. This was a really old drugstore created back in 1931. It opened, and they became famous just for giving free ice water to people.
And that's what I call high-quality H2O.
Now it's just this massive old Western drugstore. It's really cool. One of the things they're famous for is when you're like a couple hundred miles away, you start seeing these old, awesome billboards that say like Wall Drug 230 miles away or whatever. And there's tons of billboards all the way going into the town of Wall. You can stay in Wall, visit Wall Drug while you're seeing the Badlands. Let's get to the next one. My next place is Sedona, Arizona, and this is one of the coolest, most eccentric towns I've ever been to. I went there about 2 years ago, and it's so beautiful. When you're driving into Sedona, as you're going along, I think it's called Oak Canyon Creek. When you're driving into Sedona, going along Oak Creek Canyon, you're going to see amazing views of these big red cliffs on both sides of the highway. Sometimes just on one side, but it is so beautiful seeing all that. And then you get into Sedona, and it's such an awesome town. The town is such a perfect size. It's not too big, not too small. There's a lot of awesome shops there and really great food, and the people are really nice. When you're there, eat breakfast at this place called the Coffee Pot. I think they have like famous for 101 different omelets. That's where we ate. It's a really cool kind of unique place to eat breakfast. Cool thing about Sedona is it's actually known to be a vortex, which means there's like a certain energy to the place which can bring peace to you, or it can kind of emphasize whatever energy you have inside of you. That's what they say. And it really does feel like it brings you peace there. We were watching that with sunset, which was one of the most beautiful I've ever seen in Sedona. I couldn't help but believe in the vortex. One other awesome thing about Sedona that I thought was really cool is that at night they're not allowed to have any night pollution, so they can't have any big lights or anything in the town which would obstruct you of seeing the stars. You're going to see a ton of stars out. While you're in Sedona, it might be worth a 50-minute drive to Flagstaff. If you're outdoorsy, there's a lot of cool hiking shops, climbing shops there, and a lot of outdoor adventure stuff to do there. There's a really cool university, Northern Arizona State, is right there in Flagstaff, so if you're going into college, maybe think about that if you're an outdoorsy person. Number 4, y'all, is Breckenridge, Colorado. I went to Breckenridge my freshman year of college for a ski and snowboard club trip. It is an awesome little ski town. Obviously, if you're gonna go there in the winter. There's probably cool stuff in the summer too, but definitely go in the winter and try to go right before Christmas because the whole town has some awesome lights up. And it's such a quaint little cute town. One cool thing about Breckenridge is they really don't have any fast food places. They do have one Subway, but it fits into the town, so they won't let any franchises, McDonald's, any of that stuff come into their town. The views from the slopes in Breckenridge are absolutely amazing. It is one of the best places in America, if not the world, to go ski and snowboard. It's really breathtaking, the views. When everything's covered in snow, it makes you appreciate winter, and winter would be a lot better if you lived in places like Breckenridge. At night, there's a ton of bars and stuff that you can go to. It's a great town for young people, and again, right before Christmas, go guys. That's when I went. I would highly suggest that. There's tons of beautiful lights and stuff down in kind of the main part of town. It's a nice little town. Awesome skiing and snowboarding, Breckenridge, Colorado. It's about 2 hours west of Denver, Colorado, and it's going to be well worth the trip. Get over there, guys, and have some fun shredding art.
That was totally wicked!
Lastly, guys, it's going to be a place that is hyped up but is well worth it. This is Yellowstone National Park, which is mostly in Wyoming, but there's also some in Montana and Idaho. This is a place that is so diverse in its features, its wildlife, and the things you can do there. When I went there, we went on like an old Western wagon ride in where we went in a couple hours into Yellowstone to a remote part. They told us stories, cooked us a steak dinner, and we had like cowboy coffee and hot cocoa, which was some of the best I ever had. There's so many awesome things you can do. Horseback rides, you can go fishing, camping, whatever. There's a million things you can do there. You can see geothermal pools there, which are absolutely breathtaking, the colors in them. You can see Old Faithful and the geysers. You can see petrified wood there. There's moose, grizzlies, black bears, mountain goats, every different thing you could think of. Elk. There's so many different wildlife there. It's such a diverse place, and the views are absolutely breathtaking. When we went to Yellowstone, we stayed in a little place right on the border of Montana and Wyoming called West Yellowstone. It's a nice little town. A lot of tourists stay there, but it's not real touristy. It's a great place to get right to the entrance of Yellowstone fast. If you're going to Yellowstone, guys, have a great time there. Maybe try to camp out some, go to the visitor centers, learn a lot about the region. It's really cool. Just sometimes you'll go into the little visitor center places, you'll just see elk right outside. Make sure to respect the wildlife. Have a great time there. What an awesome place. When I was there, we saw grizzly bear, black bear, elk, moose, a mountain goat. I don't know if that was in Yellowstone. I think that was in Big Sky. And we actually even saw wolves. There's a group of people that actually travel around, these researchers, and follow the wolves in the summer. And if you talk to the right people, you can find out where those wolves are. Go out there. They're super nice, and they may even let you look through their spotting scopes at them. So that was once in a lifetime. Yellowstone was actually the first national park ever made, and it is one of the most wonderful things in America. What a great part of America Yellowstone is. So y'all, these are 5 of the coolest places I've ever been in America. There's so many more in this great country, greatest country in the world. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to keep getting out adventuring, guys. Live adventure style, and I'll see you on the next episode of E Kriegs Outdoors. Peace out, y'all.